Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be the first game of the Onslaught tournament, and it's going to be my Orcs and Goblins up against some Wood Elves. Alright, so for the first game I really knew what to expect because this is my grudge match. We faced each other 2 times before. The first time he kind of drew me into the trees and I lost. The second time I overwhelmed him and won. And now this is our best of 3. But really, when he saw my list and how strong it was, he was really wondering how he'd be dealing with it. But I think he came up with a pretty good list here. And just to be fair, he didn't design his list to beat mine. It was going to be just a strong list for the whole tournament. But anyway, what it was a whole bunch of Glade Guard. He has an eagle on the left. The unit that's behind the woods there is a little bit larger. It has the flaming banner, and there's a BSB in there. There are some scouts in the back, and there's a level 4 with Lore Life. He has kind of like a character killer noble that's on an eagle at the back, and then he has 3 treemen. And the one that has a hand up is actually the Treeman Ancient, and so he's a scary bit of work with the annoyance and nettings and all those things. But even with that all together, things were looking pretty bad for him because the mission for this first game was Blood and Glory. And when you look at his list, he has his General, he has his BSB, and then he has 2 banners in Glade Guard. So if I just kill 2 banners or I kill the General, I just win. And so it really wasn't looking good for him. There's also the secondary missions where you get to pick. There's 6 different ones, and you get to pick one for each game before the game starts. And of course, for this one, I picked the one where you kill all wizards. He went for the same one because, I mean, for me, I'm trying to kill his general anyway, and if I do that, I just win. So that's what I picked. Also, for my spells, I had a double. And instead of taking Hand of Gork, I decided to take the whole Wizard Sniper spell, because again, if I kill his level 4, I just win. There's another part of this too, where it's not just the whole Blood and Glory, there's also going to be these little objectives we're after. We each get to put down 2 of them. They have to be 8 away from the board edge, 8 away from each other, and you control them by having unit within 4, and if they're contested, basically, who has more wounds, then they control it. Now, the big thing that really affected this is that it didn't really define it whether it was impassable or not. And, of course, for me, I'd love it not to be. For him, he'd love it to be. And we rolled it off, and it turned out that it was going to be impassable. And what this really allowed him to do was work it with this other terrain to really block me up. So mine are the 2 tents, and you can kind of see I put one at the Sphinx's bum, the other one by the little crypt, and they're just going to be out of the way. His are these kind of single trees, and so he has one on the right, so that between the impassable Sphinx and the impassable ruins, that thing is just a frickin' mess, and I'm not going to get through there with any good-sized horde. On the left side, he made it so there's just enough room for one horde to sneak through. He actually meant it to be a little bit so it'd be too small, but again, it's going to be very difficult to get to him, and of course what he's trying to do is box me in and do the whole 300 thing, where I might have this big horde, but I'm forced going through a small area. And my biggest worry is that when I'm going after him, he's just going to go and then funnel through to the right. So what I've done is I've set up my river trolls, which are a little bit smaller, to go through the Sphinx and the 1 tree objective. The other troll horde is going to try and sweep around. The savages are just really trying to make sure that to clean up anything that goes out that way, and then night goblins and wolves are just to be a little bit of a threat to try and keep everything just from quickly running out right away. And we'll see what happens. Alright, so here's a little close-up just to kind of show these treemen again, and the real thing that kind of threw me for a loop before the game even got going is that I really should have asked or made it more clear. I mean, he even gave me his list and stuff, even though I don't know if it said it in there, but where a lot of my plan was talking about how his level 4 was the general, well, no, his Treeman Ancient is the general. So all of a sudden, when I go and use my Foot of Gork and stuff like that, of course it'll be nice to take out his magic, but at the same time, I really would rather kill the Treeman Ancient because he's the one or if I kill him, I win the game. So I've already made kind of a mistake here, and I mean, I still wasn't feeling too bad. I feel if I can still overwhelm him and kill his banners, I'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, just a little kind of a hiccup before the game even started. So I got first turn, which is awesome, and pretty much I'm just rushing on up. So I have everything going up as fast as I can. I have the night goblins, which kind of held down a little back because I don't want to be just killed by a bunch of treemen, and then the wolves that just sped out to the right side just to kind of lock things down. In this first phase here, I didn't get very much magic. My Shaman and my BSB are both in the Black Orcs just to be back and safe, and also so that I don't have to deal with animosity, but I just didn't have the dice to get anything done with the magic phase. His turn 1, and I had some surprises here. He has the eagle that's going to go up there and redirect my trolls, but I'm not too worried about them. They're not going to slow me down too much. He is having his BSB that's going to be switching back to where his scouts are, but the real surprise here is what he was doing with his treeman. The treeman agent, which is his critical one, is coming to the middle, where his 2 treemen are going to the right. And, between his flaming and all the shots, you could see he just decimated my river trolls. But really, the way I'm looking at this is if my river trolls go in, do a few wounds, and then my Black Orcs with flaming attacks can get into him, well, I just win the game. So the only thing he's done to kind of stop that is that he's really making it very difficult with me right now with the way that they're positioned, because I can't really swing around because of the archers and stuff there. But, either way, I'll just be going in there trying to make some trouble. Alright, so my turn 2 here, and some of it went okay, some of it not so okay. Pretty much what I did with the river trolls, because of the way that he made it so I could not charge, what they did was just reform so that I can sneak through no matter what and he can't block me. I used some magic to go and put a foot onto his Treeman Ancient, but only rolled for 1 wound. My Savages just tried doing a long bomb on the archers on the left there, because why not? Unfortunately, I failed it. And the Trolls, this was pretty bad. I mean, this is, I hope you guys can understand this, but when I had to hit the Eagle, I'd be redirected. Now, I did that happily, and then I realized that I am now stuck at this tree. I mean, when I was looking at the line of trees, I forgot that the one that's not on the kind of base there is the objective that is impassable. So now my trolls are going to lose a turn where I have to shift over. So that was kind of bad. But, overall, I'm still happy with my positioning, and I still feel the game is well in my control. Alright, so his turn, again, there's some more crazy things going on. He has his 1 eagle go and charge into my wolves, and I mean, that's part of their big job I had for them, is that my wolves are just supposed to keep his character hunter away from my shaman, but he just whiffed all of his attacks, and I did a wound to him, so he actually lost, or no, it was a draw combat, which I just felt very lucky for. His treemen are now starting to pick on my night goblins. What I'm doing here is just running away. So if I can just keep on rallying and fleeing or whatever it is, just to slow these 2 treemen down, I just gotta make sure they don't just get around to my Black Orcs, because even though my Black Orcs have flaming, I don't want to have to turn them around to deal with these treemen, who at that point are probably just going to go and run away somewhere else. I should also mention that a lot of these objectives are here on the right side of the board, but because this is Blood and Glory, I am not going to care and trying to hold them, because whoever gets the Blood and Glory is going to win the game anyway. With his shooting, he kills some of my trolls, some more of my river trolls. With his magic going off, he's healed up the tree man now. But again, I mean, I still think it's going fine. Alright, so my turn 3 here. I had my savages go into the archers on the left, destroy them. I went off the board. My trolls just had to shift to the left. The river trolls went into the unit that was right in front of me, and then just combat reformed to turn around here. And if you want to know which the 2 Glade Guard units have the banners, it's the 2 ones are on the left now. So the one that has kind of like a red tree in it, and the one that has pretty much all white. So those are my targets, and I like that they're very close to me. Otherwise, my Night Goblins rallied, and I can't remember what happened on the right. I think we each did a wound to each other, so that's still going on. As far as the magic phase, I think it was another one where I rolled low, and either way, my magic didn't do anything this turn. His turn 3, so more shooting into my trolls on the left. His Treeman Ancient actually came into my river trolls. So, I mean, I thought that was great. I mean, hopefully I'll do some wounds. Either way, my Black Orcs will be right there to try and kill him. One thing I had to do in the last turn that I forgot to mention is for my Black Orcs to fit through, my 1 Night Goblin there had to move out of the unit. So that's why he's there in the back, and it was also set up like this so that he'd be out of the way of my river trolls. Unfortunately, what happened is that He didn't kill enough to take away Steadfast, and I held. But, I mean, if I break on the next turn here or something, that'll be fine. He also sent his treemen back into my Night Goblins. I fled again, and I guess whatever happened with my wolves, they're dead now, and his little eagle is coming back. My turn 4, well, what happened in here is my trolls were able to go and charge the one red unit that was there of archers, and of course destroyed them and combat reformed the face over. Now, this is good for two major reasons. One is the fact that he's down one of his banners, so if I just kill one more, I win. Two is the fact that I have my movement 6 trolls right there and all of his archers right in front of me ready for me to go and charge and kill. And finally, the white unit, which is the other banner, is right in front of me. My savages come back on, my BSB moving up. He whiffed against my river troll, so I'm still stuck there, and my night goblins rallied. And again, I think for magic in this phase, I mean, nothing happened for magic. Pretty much this whole game, magic didn't do very much. His turn 4, and I thought this was wonderful. What he did here, I mean, what was not wonderful was the fact that he started shooting up my Black Orcs using Hail of Doom and other things, and they're starting to get dwindled, and that there's a tree man behind me now. But the good things I'd like to see here is that, first of all, one of the tree men is now peeling off in order to start going after objectives. And one of the things I was worried about with this last banner is he might be doing a thing where I charge his archers, they're going to flee, they'll bounce over the other archers and the impassable ruins, and now be in a spot where I can't get to them. But what he did is move the units out of the way so they can't be doing that fleeing and all that stuff, and then put the thorn spell on them. So obviously planning for them to be in combat. So I'm just waiting for my next turn to win. The other way that this could happen is if my river trolls would have finally died, but again, they're still there and my flaming black orcs are waiting just to try and kill that guy and win the game. My turn 5, and this was starting to make me want to pull out my hair. First of all, in his last turn, he was able to kill my BSB. And in this turn, my trolls failed stupidity. You know, it's a leadership 8, I should pass it, I know it's a risk, and I failed. So it's like, you know, I just failed it, couldn't charge those guys, but at least I'll have another turn I can try and get it done. The other thing that's annoying is that still, my stupid river trolls just won't lose and get out of the way. So I got some spells off, and I kind of reformed my Black Orc so that, I mean, at this point I'd lost enough that Horde formation didn't really matter, but I now have rerolls on them, and I have Fist of Gork on my General. So I just need to get in there. But, and I've also reformed and moved them away so that the tree man can't see my Black Orcs to charge. But, yeah, I mean, I just need to pass the stupidity and I win. So as long as this happens on turn 6, it's still okay. His turn 5, my trapped Black Orcs get shot up some more. I was happy to see that his archers that matter didn't move out of the way. And his little eagle character came and flew behind me, which I didn't really like too much, but we'll have to kind of see what happens with that. And look, my river trolls are still there. I've never wanted to see my trolls die more before than like in a game like this. So my turn 6, and yeah. First of all, trolls fail stupidity. Yeah, there you have it. I failed 2 of those in a row, so I can't go and try and kill them. Goes to the magic phase. I try and get foot on, and I decide to do it to the archer unit. I get it off, but it scatters off the unit, and I don't get to try and cast it again. So much for that. Then I kind of hope that maybe in the combat things will go well, especially since he's finally at least killed one of the trolls, so I'm not steadfast anymore. But I held. And so I just, yeah. So his turn 6, what really just happened here is he just shot the hell of my Black Orcs. They were almost completely wiped out. The tree men went and charged and ran down the night goblins that were trying to contest the one objective. The eagle flew over to go retake it. And the tree man was, at least now is the point where I don't want my river trolls to break. And at least here, they held. So that was it. That was the game ending here, with nobody winning Blood and Glory, which we really didn't expect. So when it came down to adding up victory points, both of us had really scored very little from killing each other's models, but the main thing it came down to is that he held every single one of the objectives. It was crazy, because even on the one that was on the far left, his tree man, which has 6 wounds, was within range. My river trolls had taken a wound, so they only had 5 wounds, and my other units weren't in range. So of course, when we got those extra 800 points, it pushed them up to a win. The whole massacre system's not the same as it is in the book. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, in a game where, first of all, this is a tournament where I'm trying to win it all. It's also a thing where it's like a best of 3, so there's that, pressure wanting to win the game there. It came down to my river trolls not breaking, so I couldn't get my flaming black orcs to his general, and my other trolls failing 2 leadership 8 stupidity tests to not just charge and win the game. So it's just, you can see the picture here where I'm just some mock frustration here for the picture, but it's just, I couldn't believe it. The one thing that was really good is that it was a really fun game. I mean, this guy is a great guy, and actually, they give you like a big, long range of like 5 different choices for the sportsmanship, and we actually scored this one at the very top because of how fun it was. And so the only thing I could kind of think that was good coming out of this game, other than having a fun game, is that even though now I'm pretty much out of the runnings for best overall or best general, maybe I can get best sportsmanship. But even with that, it'll be pretty challenging with a list like mine. I think people are going to look down on it and not have fun because of that fact. But anyway, there you go. First game in the books, and it's a loss for the Orcs. Thanks for watching. Bye.